In a previous video, we walked through one approach to blocking lots or preventing a lot being used on transactions, and that was done with Business Central workflows. In that example, we walked through how we would automatically block a lot in a test whenever the test was created, and then how we would automatically unblock that lot whenever the test was finished with a passing grade. All right. Now, this approach for blocking and unblocking a lot works great, um, except in scenarios where you want to allow some transactions. So, if we're in a scenario where we want to prevent some transactions, so perhaps sales, maybe we don't want to sell something that has a quality inspection test that hasn't passed, but maybe we can reuse that lot internally. Maybe we can reconsume it. Maybe we can move it around. Maybe we can transfer it to another location, or even reclassify it. All right. So in this example, we're going to work through a different way of restricting the use of a lot um, when a test hasn't passed. So to do that, we're going to use grades. So we're going to navigate to quality inspection grades. And in our example, what we're going to do is walk through receiving a lot. We are going to have a test created for it automatically, and we're going to prevent that from being sold until it's finished. So to do that, we're going to say we're going to block the sale of anything in progress. We're going to block anything that has failed, and we're going to allow selling this particular lot when the quality inspection test exists, where it is finished only. Alternatively, you could just say either open or finished tests. So for sales, you probably want it to be finished only, but perhaps for internal warehouse movements or something like that, you may just want to allow it. Now, if you want to disable this feature, just set it to allow for all of these checkbox combinations, and that effectively disables the feature. And in our case here, what we're saying is we're effectively going to allow that lot to be, used for anything, with the exception of selling it. So we're not going to allow it to be sold. All right, the setup is the same as the previous video describing how to block a lot entirely. So we're still going to create a test automatically when your warehouse receipt is posted. That's done through the quality inspector setup, receiving, automation, create a test. We then have a quality inspection template that is for receiving. So we're just going to open that up. And inside of here, we're just asking for a few examples. And we have a test generation rule basically saying to create this test effectively under any circumstance. So regardless of which item we're receiving, which vendor, etc., we're always going to create this one test. All right. So that's the basic premise. So now let's walk through a use case. So we're going to receive a lot tracked item. So we're going to choose Progressive Home Furnishings. We're going to vendor invoice 123 802.16-T. We're going to use Ethernet cable because it is lot tracked. We're going to use the green location for this example, and we're going to receive 10 of these. All right, so we are now going to receive 10 of these Ethernet cables into the green location. So we're going to release it. We're going to create our warehouse receipt. Now the warehouse guys have now got this document. Truck comes in, they scan in the lot number with Warehouse Insight or WMS Express. They're setting the tracking ideally through the gun. We're just going to walk through this with our own. So we're going to just type in the lot number here, 12:37 p.m., 10, and we're going to close this. All right, now at this point, there's still no quality inspection test because we haven't posted it. That's expected. So we're now going to post that receipt. And what this should do now is this should now create that quality inspection test. We see it for that lot number. And while this test is not yet finished in a past state, we should be able to move that lot around, but we shouldn't be able to sell it. So we're going to see that in action here. So let's just receive an invoice. Perfect. So we see that this item is now fully received into our system, and now we're going to try and sell it. Now we still have the quality inspection test open, and it has not yet been filled in by a quality inspector. So now we have a sales guy who's going to come into the system, and innocently he's just going to try and sell the lot. So we're now going to choose that same lot. We're going to choose it from the green location. We'll choose 10 of them. And if we were to choose the item tracking, and if we're using Order Ship Express, we could definitely use that. 12:28 p.m. $37 p.m. There it is. Okay, so there's our lot. So now we can release it. We can create a warehouse shipment. And as soon as these guys try to post the shipment, what's going to happen? We're going to receive, oh, we need to pick it first. We're going to create a pick first. So we have a pick. We're now going to post that pick. And again, all of these other transactions are still allowed, right? So picks are still allowed. You could block those picks as well, but right now we just have it configured to only prevent the sales, but you still have it configured to allow picks. So right now it looks like we can only actually pick 8 of those. So we are going to register that pick. Perfect. We see that we've got 8 of those that we're trying to ship, so we're going to post that shipment. And we see now that it's blocked, and it's blocked because of this lot number has an open test that we are trying to use. So let's finish off that test. So we're going to navigate to our quality inspection tests. We're going to find that test. It happens to be the most recent one, 12:37 p.m. We're just going to fill in the values. So there's no marks on the test. We're going to pass it. We're going to put in any value here, and hello. All right, now at this point it's still passed, but nobody has signed off on it yet, right? So the status is still open. So if we were to still try and ship it, it should still be blocked, right? So for example, if we try and ship and invoice it, we still see it as blocked. So now, we're just going to finish off that test. So we have that test. It's already in a pass state. We're just going to finish it. We're going to say yes. And now that the test is finished, we should be allowed to use it for this sales transaction. So we're going to ship and invoice it, and we see that that now goes through. So that's another way of blocking lots from certain transactions through grades. So this does require a minimum of Business Central 18. It's not quite the same as blocking the lot entirely, and it has pros and cons depending on the use case. But if you do want to do something like block a lot for specific transactions but not others, you can do that with the quality inspection grades.
Hey, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel for more great content.